नमस्ते गुरुजी। जय गुरुजी महाराज। जय गुरुजी साथ संगत जी। मल्टीलिंगुअल ग्लोबल सेवा दल टीम की तरफ से आप सबका हार्दिक स्वागत है। संगत जी, गुरुजी महाराज की कृपा से एक बार फिर हम सब धन्य हैं। गुरुजी महाराज की ब्लेस संगत राहुल जी की पुस्तक गुरुजी लाइफ एंड स्पिरिचुअलिज्म का 22वां अध्याय आज पढ़ा जाएगा। आज 22वां सेशन है और चैप्टर 9 में से आज पाठन होगा। मैं रिपीट करूंगा, चैप्टर 9 के कुछ चैप्टर 9 से आज ये रीडिंग होगी। आज 22वां सेशन है। आज पाठन की सेवा करना जोशी अंकल जी को दी गई है और उनके साथ में मॉडरेशन में कामिनी टंडन जी हैं और राहुल अंकल जी हैं। मैं कुछ देर के लिए इनका परिचय दूंगा। कर्नल एस.के. जोशी जी is a soldier with immense blessing of Guruji Maharaj. He came to Guruji's Sharan when Guruji Maharaj was in Jalandhar. Since then, he was profusely blessed to be under the umbrella of Guruji's blessings. He has contributed immensely to the telecommunication revolution, utilizing his expertise from the signal corps of the armed forces. अब संगत जी, मैं डॉक्टर कामिनी टंडन जी के बारे में बताऊंगा। डॉक्टर कामिनी टंडन जी is a graduate in economics honors from Hansraj College, University of Delhi. She completed her master's in business administration and LLB and worked in the financial services sector for a span of 6 years. After this, she entered academia and pursued her PhD in finance. Thereafter, she joined her husband's business in a law firm in Delhi. Sangat ji, she is a Guruji's blessed Sangat. Now, in the last, डॉक्टर शैलेंद्र राहुल जी को गुरुजी महाराज राहुल, प्यार से राहुल कहा करते थे। गुरुजी महाराज, ऑथर ऑफ द बुक गुरुजी लाइफ एंड स्पिरिचुअलिज्म, केम टू गुरुजी's fold during his Jalandhar days. I'll repeat again. Dr. Raul came to Guruji's Sharan when Guruji was in Jalandhar. He has authored book Guruji Life and Spiritualism. Dr. Raul, who's superannuated as Secretary to Government of India, is presently member Central Administrative Tribunal in the Principal Bench at Delhi. He is an officer of the Indian Administrative Service of 1985 batch belonging to the Punjab cadre. He has served both with the state government of Punjab and the central government. Dr. Raul has written 3 books and published several articles in reputed journals globally. संगत जी, मैं गुरुजी महाराज की तरफ से कर्नल जोशी अंकल जी को रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा, प्लीज अपने आप को प्लीज आज का पाठन शुरू करें, सेशन शुरू करें प्लीज। ओवर टू यू। जय गुरुजी।
जय गुरुजी। पूरी संगत को और रोशन अंकल को भी पहले तो मैं ये बतलाना चाहूंगा, आज जो मुझे चैप्टर पढ़ना है वो गुरु तत्व के बारे में, और आज के जो शब्द बजे हैं वो भी गुरु तत्व से बहुत कुछ रिलेटेड, उनके ऊपर सोचना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि गुरु जी कहा करते थे सोचो। पहला शब्द था से सिमरे जे आप सिमराए, यानी कि अगर गुरु आपको यह शक्ति देगा कि आप सिमरन करो तो आप सिमरन करोगे। के अलावा दूसरा शब्द बजाता है ऐसा गुरु वट भागी पाया, और उसमें क्या है कि ऐसा गुरु वट भागी पाया, वो कहता है कि बंधन काट मुकुट गुरु की ना, भूले मारत नहीं बसाया। तो ये भी गुरु तत्व से रिलेटेड है और इसका कुछ ना कुछ डिस्कशन सब्सिक्वेंटली आज के पाठन में आएगा। और जो लास्ट में सबल बजा था वो सतगुरु प्यारा मेरे नाल है, जिन हर की हर कथा सुनाई, जिन हर की हर कथा सुनाई, totally related to coming to my observation over a period of time, that I had been observing a kanate tree every day in the morning hours from my balcony. People come and pluck flowers from it every day. They pull the branches to have the flowers, which are higher in reaches of the tree, and effort is there to have it pulled and pushed every day to get the maximum. And yet, despite so much of extraction every day, and next day it is again ready to provide you enough to satiate your desire. And I feel what Guruji did and does every moment, unmindful of a stress on the self. This is what we have seen every day when Guruji was in his physical form. Not only that, even today. Can we then mull over this as Guru Tattva? And that is what makes you think on Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamaya Purnmeva Vashishyate. यानी कि इसका मीनिंग क्या है? वह परब्रह्म पुरुषोत्तम परमात्मा सभी प्रकार से पूर्ण है। यह जगत भी पूर्ण है, क्योंकि यह पूर्ण उस पूर्ण पुरुषोत्तम से ही उत्पन्न हुआ है। इंपॉर्टेंट टू नोट, क्योंकि यह पूर्ण उस पूर्ण से ही उत्पन्न हुआ है। इस प्रकार परब्रह्म की पूर्णता से जगत पूर्ण होने पर भी वह परब्रह्म परिपूर्ण है। उस पूर्ण में से पूर्ण को निकाल देने पर भी वह पूर्ण ही शेष रहता है। And in a very, very common language, if you take a bucket out of the ocean, it will make no difference in the ocean. I mean, say in the level of the ocean or the volume of the ocean. And if you drop a bucket of water in the ocean, it will not increase the volume of the ocean. The volume of the ocean or the volume of the water in the ocean will remain the same. This is what, when I cited you an example of kanate tree, why this thought came to my mind, and this is what came to my mind. Now we are coming back to the specifics. The chapter on Guru Tattva, that is chapter 9 of this book, is under section 4, the great Indian spiritual tradition, where the author moves on from specific to general, that is using the personal journey with Guruji and his comprehension of this journey. To understand, from specific to understanding of spirituality in general. His knowledge of scriptures comes in handy as we have the insight coming in generously sprinkled with quotes from Vedas, Upanishads, Guru Granth Sahib, as well as Sufi saints like Kabir. Now, what does this chapter on Guru Tattva seek to accomplish? In the second para of page 232, the author has clarified that this chapter is about why a spiritual seeker needs a guru. What is the importance of a guru in our lives? What are the true characteristics of a true guru, a sadguru? Throws light on relationship between a sadguru and a true seeker, and therefore also discusses who a true seeker is. Now, the chapter starts with the description of a struggle between self, Atma, and the tremendous forces of nature. सेंसरी सिस्टम्स यानी कि कर्मेंद्रियों का, ज्ञानेंद्रियों का, द माइंड स्पेस, मन की, द हायर इंटेलेक्ट यानी कि व्हाट इज योर बुद्धि, एंड थ्री गुणास, दैट इज सत्गुण, रजोगुण और तमोगुण. हाउ दिस स्ट्रगल लीड्स टू मॉरल डायलेमा एंड एंग्विश, with the example of Arjun on the battlefield of Kurukshetra thrown in. The discourse then moves to disciple readiness and how A guru is the true spiritual guide. The author quotes Lord Krishna from Gita. What it says, Tat vidadi pranipatne patnena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshana. The meaning of this is कि उस ज्ञान को तो विनय भाव से प्रणाम करके, सत्संगत गुरुओं से प्रश्न करके, सत्संगत गुरुओं से प्रश्न करके और उनकी सेवा करके जान। हे तत्वदर्शी ज्ञानी जन, तुझे उस ज्ञान का उपदेश देंगे। नाउ, और वो कहते हैं कि व्हाट इट मीन्स, अर्जुन तू सच्चा ज्ञान पाने के लिए अहंकार छोड़कर किसी सच्चे गुरु के पास जाओ, विनम्र भाव से प्रणाम करो, सच्चे मन से प्रश्न पूछो और श्रद्धा व भक्ति से उनकी सेवा करो। जो गुरु सत्य के साक्षात ज्ञानी है वे तुम्हें परम ज्ञान प्रदान करेंगे। एंड ट्रांसलेटिंग इट इन इंग्लिश, इट सेज, learn that by worshipping the feet of the teacher, he will instruct thee in knowledge. Right? And the key points are, what author has dwelled upon is, disciple gets advice as per his spiritual needs. Everyone has got different spiritual needs because everyone is at a different spiritual level. Now, who discerns this? Who is at what spiritual level? It is Guru who discerns. This relationship has a transformating effect on the disciple. And most importantly, this relationship is eternal. The Shabd Bhed of the word Guru as dispeller of darkness is also detailed with shlok from an Upanishad. What is that shlok from Upanishad? Guru Sabdas Twandakara Syat Guru Shabdastan Nirodhaka Andakara Nirodhatvat Guru Ritya Vidiyate. It means, as all of you know, Guru means Gyan or darkness, अंधकार, और रूर शब्द का अर्थ है कि उस अज्ञान को जो नष्ट करता है, इसीलिए गुरु। इसलिए अज्ञान अंधकार को नष्ट करने की क्षमता होने से उन्हें गुरु कहते हैं। Now, when we come to this stroke, that इसलिए क्या होता है, गुरु शिष्य संबंध में गुरु को केवल विद्वान मानने से बढ़कर गुरु को एक ऐसा मार्ग प्रदर्शक माना गया है जो हमें अज्ञान से मुक्ति की ओर ले जाता है, अज्ञान से मुक्ति की ओर। Because we are, as it has been told earlier, that we are in the mind, we have a lot of things which are troubling us. And what are these? Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Ahankar. These are the 5 things which are troubling us. And therefore, we cannot spiritually connect. Now, to get spiritually connected to Guru, what is happening? Guru is creating an environment. Now, what is that environment? If you go back to Guru Sangat, when we used to go to Guru Darbar, the Shabads used to be played. They calm down your mind. That whatever जो भी उलझन आपके दिमाग में हो रही होती है, उससे आप मुक्त हो जाते हो। You for some time, for at least that 1 hour, 1.5 hours, 2 hours, wherever you go for Sangat, you forget the outside world and you are in the world of Guru. Whether Guru is physically present or he is not physically present, but Guru is present otherwise. So if Guru is present otherwise, तो उसकी मौजूदगी में आपको मौजूद रहना है। अगर उसकी मौजूदगी में आप मौजूद रहोगे तो आपको जो शांति उसमें मिलेगी, जो आपको कामनेस उसमें मिलेगी उस सत्संग में, वो अगर आप गुरु से जुड़े हुए नहीं हो, अगर आप अपने मोबाइल से जुड़े हुए हो या अपने दोस्तों से जुड़े हुए हो, उनसे गुफ्तगू कर रहे हो, तो फिर आप वो संबंध नहीं पैदा कर सकते। इसलिए मैंने जो कहा आज पहले 3 शब्द बजे थे और हर शब्द का मीनिंग यही था। वो सदगुरु प्यारा मेरे नाल है। That Sadguru is sitting with me. So if you have that kind of a feeling, then you will find in a satsang, you are in a different state of mind. This is what Guru does. This is what Guru satsang does. That your state of mind is different. Now, another thing which the author has quoted is, it is from Gita. जपस्तपो वृतम तीर्थम यज्ञो ज्ञानम तथा युच गुरु तत्व मविज्ञायो सर्व व्यर्थ भवित प्रिय। तो ये उन्होंने बोला था किसको? पार्वती जी को। हे प्रिय, जप तप व्रत तीर्थ स्नान यज्ञ और दान, ये सब कर्म उसी समय सार्थक होते हैं जब मनुष्य गुरु तत्व को जानता है। नाउ दैट इज वेयर द इंपॉर्टेंस ऑफ दिस चैप्टर इज टुडे। और यदि गुरु तत्व का ज्ञान नहीं है तो ये सभी कर्म व्यर्थ हो जाते हैं। इसलिए गुरु को के महत्व को समझे बिना किए गए सभी धार्मिक और आध्यात्मिक कार्य फलदायी नहीं होते। गुरु ज्ञान बिना साधना अधूरी मानी जाती है। तो in English it has been translated, which means all this जप तप व्रत इत्यादि जो कुछ भी हम करते हैं ये सब वेस्ट है। Without understanding the Guru Tattva needs special mention. In various satsangs, we have heard that Guruji would emphasize this in some manner or the other, telling that these all things, vrats and this thing, are bogus. They have no meaning. It is a waste telling of a rosary beads when he used to say, use a rosary because that brings in hami in you. आपके अंदर हमी आ जाती है। तो इसलिए जब आपको जप करना होता है तो आप आंतरिक मन से जप कीजिए। In fact, the best japa is supposed to be that in which your lips also don't move. And your japa starts from your Muladhara. And it comes right up to your Sahasrara. That is what the real japa is. That is the time you are totally concentrated on what is the meaning of that japa. Whatever mantra you are doing, you got to understand its meaning and then concentrate on it. And as I said, you have to do jap. Guruji used to say jap is done from Muladhara and reaches right up to Sahasrara. So one of the example of this I like to give you that you know what used to happen, that we used to do the Vrit of Shukravar, and we were very religious, very sacrosanct in it. It is way back when I was at Pune, and when you used to do Vrit, and after a certain time you are supposed to do the Udyapan of the Vrit. So I had come to Jalandhar, so we wanted to do Udyapan, and it was the Friday. And my son Nitin used to take breakfast for the 7 hours in the morning to at Jalandhar 300 Defence Colony, where Guruji used to have the abode at that particular time. So he went there, and Guruji gave him a bottle of Coke. He drank it, and he was very happy. A thing given by Guruji, it may be anything, a glass of water, a cup of tea, or a Coke, or a Fanta, or whatever it is. So you do feel elated. And his mother had given strict instructions to her that you will not take anything which is sour, because we are going to do Udyapan. It was a Friday. He came home and very gladly described that Guruji gave him a bottle of Coke, and Mother was unhappy with him. Why did you have this cook and all that? I told you that you should not take anything which is sour. So this all happened, and after that, we had gone in the evening to Guru's Darbar. That is where Guruji mentioned, he didn't say directly, but he mentioned, people believe in these bogus practices, which has no meaning. Anyway, next Friday came, we again decided, चलो एक अब उद्यापन कर देते हैं, इसके बाद व्रत नहीं रखेंगे. We went, we decided to have Udyapan, and as the luck would have it, my wife was working in Sanjay's school at Jalandhar at that time, which was very next door to Defence Colony, 300 Defence Colony, that is Guruji Depot. So she went there, and I also decided to reach there. And that day, the lunch which was served by Guruji was paratha and dahi. मैंने तो पराठे और दही खा ली, but auntie did not have this dahi and paratha because dahi is khatta. She didn't take any. She took paratha and quietly went inside the kitchen and took the paratha with jaggery. चलो ये हो गया, lunch खत्म हो गया, and then we all came inside. So Guruji told auntie कि किचन में तीनों पड़े हुए हैं, उनको छील और छील के लेके आ संगत को देने हैं. Any no choice. Now you are not supposed to touch खट्टा. गुरुजी's हुक्म was to तीनों को छील के लेके आ. तीनों छील के लेके आई, गुरुजी के सामने पेश किए. गुरुजी ने कहा ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਨੂਨ ਪਾ ਕੇ लेके आ. And then he said, ਇਹ ਸਾਰੀ ਸੰਗਤ ਨੂੰ ਵਰਤਾ ਦੇ. What Guruji did, Guruji removed that कीड़ा which was in our mind कि शुक्रवार को खट्टा नहीं खाते. मैंने तो खा लिया था क्योंकि गुरु प्रसाद है, और जब गुरु के दरबार में आप गए हो, आपको प्रसाद मिल रहा, खा जाओ. That is prasad. It has no meaning of khatta or meetha or anything. But auntie had that glitch in her mind, so she didn't eat, and Guruji made her peel the quinoas, serve them to the langar, all against the rules as has been told, described in the Shukravar ka vrat. So he clarified. He took that ira, that problem out of her mind. This is how Guruji used to take out the wrong notions in your mind. And when langar used to be served, you would have heard those who were there at that time. एक शब्द, एक गाना बजता था, तेरी सूरत जो मन में बसी है, क्या करूं मंदिर शिवालय जाके. तेरी सूरत जो मन में बसी है. Now that is where the spiritualism starts. तेरी सूरत जो मन में बसी है, क्या करूं मैं मंदिर शिवालय जाके. That's why Guruji used to say, रब तो ਤੁਹਾਡੇ अंदर बैठा है, किथे जान दी लोड़ नहीं है. Therefore, spirituality is different from the religious practices. That's why it has been quoted by the author, Guna Vidya Jaganmaya Dehascha Jnana Sambhava Vijnanam Yat Prasadena Guru Shabdena Kathyate. यानी कि hidden secret knowledge worldly illusions, Maya of universe, the body arises from, of the body arises from ignorance. Knowledge by whose grace is called by the word Guru. Knowledge comes from the Guru. Therefore, we can say the author in-depth knowledge of scriptures is showcased in the very next slope, where the importance of direct knowledge, the Guru grace is brought out. Again, very much in line with what Guruji used to stress on, direct connection, Roul. Direct connection, Roul. Now, there are a lot of pitfalls in spiritual progress, greed, ego, and so many things. So what Kabir said, which has been mentioned in page 226, तिमिर गया रवि देख कर कुमत गई गुरु ज्ञान सुमत गई अतिलोक से भक्ति गई अपमान. तिमिर गया रवि देख कर, अंधेरा चला गया सूरज को देख के. कुमत गई गुरु ज्ञान, गुरु के ज्ञान से जो कुमति थी मेरे में वो चली गई. सुमति गई, अति लोभ ते, जो सुमति थी मेरे को लोभ ज्यादा हुआ. आई हैड लॉट ऑफ ग्रीड, तो मेरी अच्छी बुद्धि चली गई. सुमति गई है लोग से, भक्ति गई है अभिमान, मम्मी आ गई मेरे में. मैं तो गुरु का सेवादार हूं, तो मैं जरा चौधरी हूं. तो आ गया ना अभिमान, तो फिर आपकी सेवा तो निष्फल होगी. फिर गोइंग डाउन. गोइंग नेक्स्ट, आई वुड have loved to give an example of this. If time permitting, later I'll give example on this. How Guruji used to take out this abhiman from you, or from that ego from you. If the Guru grace is flowing, it is important to be present in the, यानी कि मौजूदगी में मौजूद रहो. जैसा मैंने पहले बताया, गुरु तो मौजूद है, सत्संग हो रहा है, गुरु बैठा हुआ है. पर अगर आप अपने मोबाइल में लगे हो या आप अपने दोस्तों से बात कर रहे हो, then you are not present at that time. Guru is present, but you are not present. So you have not taken advantage of Guru's presence. And when, again, author has quoted from Gita that when Arjun was given Gyan by Sri Krishna, he told, Arjun replied, when Krishna said, have you understood? Arjun replied, it was not just your lecture, but your grace. It was not just your lecture, but your grace. Okay? That dispelled my ignorance. Yeah. गुरु बिन घोर अंधियार, कि जब तक गुरु का ग्रेस नहीं होगा तब तक आपके अंदर जो मैल है वो नहीं निकलेगी. जब गुरु की ब्लेसिंग होगी तभी वो मैल निकलेगी, तभी आप शुद्ध हो पाएंगे. Therefore, it brings out that spiritual knowledge, unlike material knowledge, can neither be purchased nor sold. Can neither be purchased nor sold. क्योंकि बहुत ऐसे उदाहरण आते हैं जहां, हमारे देश में भी ऐसे बड़े उदाहरण हैं जहां पे आपको फीस देनी पड़ती है to learn something. So, the spiritual knowledge, material knowledge, yes, you have to pay for it. But spiritual knowledge neither can be purchased nor sold. It comes only by Guru's grace. It is offered through grace and received through faith and humbleness. The key words are grace on the side of Guru and faith, oblique humility on the side of disciple. This indeed is the essence of Guru Tattva. So the author has made it so very clear. Now, there is a discussion around Sadguru and Puran Guru. This stresses on non-discrimination between God and Guru. This non-duality of God and Guru is brought out using श्लोक 20 of Guru Gita. Yo Guru sa Shiva prokto ya Shiva sa Guru smara. यानी कि Guru is Shiva and Shiva. This is reminded to us in all the Smritis. Anywhere you read, you will always find this. Yo Guru sa Shiva prokto ya Shiva sa Guru smara. Another wonderful excerpt from Kabir on page 231 describes the Sadguru. He is the real sadhu. He who is within is without. I see him and none else. And again, the author has referred from Yajurveda. Ardhagachay Ukthanam Rupam Padai Apnoti Nivida Pranavai Sastranam Rupam Payha Soma Apyastate. That means a true guru has the competence, ever-evolving dynamic context to this spiritual core of such scriptures, of completing the incomplete sentences or coded words of the Vedas. I'll give you a practical example of this. Guruji used to go for Sair after the langar was over. And he told me कि संगत नो engage करके रह मैं हुणे ही आया. No, what came to my mind that I should dwell on a rhyme from Yajurveda because I have been doing Ved part since my childhood till I joined the forces. So I always, whenever I go to any temple or any Shiv temple, when I offer water to the Shivlinga, always recite this Purushu. The first sloka of Purushu says, Sahasra Sirsha Puruha Sahasrakshaha Sahasrapat Sabhu Vigum Sarupatvat Yatishtat Dashangulam. Sahasra Sirsha यश्च सह सहस्र शीर्षा यानी कि हजारों सर हैं जिसके पुरुष का वर्णन हो रहा है, महापुरुष का वर्णन हो रहा है, हजारों हैं सर जिसके सहस्र शीर्षा पुरुष यश्च सहस्र शीर्षा सहस्र शीर्षा पुरुष सहस्राक्ष हजारों हैं आंखें सहस्राक्ष सहस्रपात हजारों पैर हैं सभूमि गुम सर्वप्रत्वा भूमि से 10 अंगुल ऊपर सभूमि गुम सर्वप्रत्वा त्यतिष्ठत दशांगुलम यानी कि भूमि से 10 अंगुल ऊपर. Now this is the literal meaning of this shloka. Now what has happened, what came to my mind at that point of time, that when you are sitting in Guru's darbar, Guru was sitting there, he is looking at so many people sitting. If it's a bada function, that thousands of people sitting, he is looking at everyone. And everyone is thinking that Guruji is looking at me. He is also looking at the people who are not there. He is looking at the people who are sitting in Jalandhar, who are sitting in UK, who are sitting in Canada, and likewise. तो सहस्राक्ष तो हजारों आंखें हैं ना, तभी तो देख सकता है, तभी तो हर एक को लग रहा है कि ये गुरु तो मेरी ही तरफ देख रहा है. तो महापुरुष जो पुरुष है वो तो तुम्हारी तरफ देख रहा है, हर एक को ये सोच. And somebody is seeing him here, there. So he has got So many eyes. And he is looking at the problem of everyone. When he is looking at the problem of everyone, that means there are so many brains which are working, because if he is looking at the problem of so many people at one point of time, that means there are so many brains working. Sahasra Sisa, because head is like your brain. सहस्र शीशा, हजारों लोगों के जो के अंदर जो एक ही टाइम पे बैठा हुआ है, उनके बारे में सोच रहा है, ऐसा पुरुष सहस्र शीशा त्यतिष्ठत् दशांगुलम। अब वो हरेक के बारे में सोच रहा है, तो कैसे सोच रहा है? वो ऐसे सोच रहा है, त्यतिष्ठत् दशांगुलम, आपकी नाभि से ऊपर 10 अंगुल ऊपर आपका हृदय स्थान। त्यतिष्ठत् दशांगुलम, कहाँ बैठा हुआ है? आपके नाभि से 10 अंगुल ऊपर आपके हृदय के अंदर। So that was the explanation. How did that thought came to my mind? You have to mull over it. You have to think over it. He made me think like that. So this was fed in my mind during the Sangat. This is how Guru works on your spiritual upliftment. He didn't say anything. He did it. He did it to you. He made you think. And he put that thought in your mind. And later on, when I opened that book of Yajurveda and read the meaning of it, this is exactly what I found. And that is where the thing, completing the incomplete sentences or coded words of the Vedas. This is what Guru can do. This is what Guru Tattva is. And then on page 233, the excerpts from the Upanishads about 5 signs of Sadguru seem to me a recollection of what the Sangat experienced with Guruji. Knowledge flourishes, which is Jnana. Knowledge flourishes. That means I have just given you an example of what the knowledge flourishes meaning is and how it happens. Sorrow diminishes. When you sat down in Guru's Darbar, you didn't have any pain. Even if you are having a pain, you forget that pain, because that is the effect of the aura of that you forget yourself. Until and unless आप मौजूदगी में मौजूद हो। अगर आप मौजूदगी में मौजूद हो तो आपको अपने बारे में कुछ नहीं पता। Joy wells up automatically. सुख आविर्भाव. Joy wells up automatically. You feel elated. You feel good. You may be. I still remember I used to be coming from the office, and I used to be late night at Guruji's Darbar. And morning I used to go to my office, and I used to be really sleepy when I used to come back at 5 or 6 o'clock. So, but the moment I entered the Empire State Gate, I used to feel totally fresh. Now that is the effect of Guru Aura. That has to be practically experienced. It cannot be described. It is an internal feeling. And abundance dawns. There are cases where, which has been described earlier in this book as well, abundance dawns. That means people who were fending for funds or well-being of their business, or who have financial problems, their financial problems, their professional problems were sorted out. So that is where it means abundance dawns. And all talent manifests. Give you an example that when Guruji told me to leave the Fauj, I left and I was interviewed by Siemens Information System Director in Vasant Continental on a subject on which I have little or no knowledge. Notwithstanding that, I had gone for the interview. He interviewed me, and what I spoke to him for good about 2 hours. Only Guruji knows. Only Guruji manifested that talent in me that I can speak on that subject. And there are a host of examples on the subject. So that again, I correlated to Guru Tattva. And there is also a discussion on what Swami Vivekananda postulated as science of Sadguru on page 234. Know the spirit of scriptures, which I just now I cited an example. He is sinless and he has no ulterior motive. He didn't want anything from anyone. He did remove the problem of one and many. There are so many cases, but he never wanted anything as a return. All he wanted is that he said, I want nothing. I want your love. I want you to remember. I want you to remember God. I want you to remember Guru. Guruji used to say, हर वेले गुरु ਨੂੰ ਚੇਤੇ ਰੱਖਣਾ चाहिए था. Now, though his love for disciples, the Guru works on the dissolution of all structures of material, ego, etc., etc. Now, what Kabir says, पोथी पढ़ पढ़े जुग मुआ पंडित भया न कोई ढाई अक्षर प्रेम के पढ़े सो पंडित होय. One who has loved Guru and Guru has loved him. Guru always loved his Sangat. And later on in page 235, the author mentions Guruji used to say, Puran Guru nu kade bhi publicity nahi chahiye di hundi. Oh, kade bodyguard te gunman nahi rakhuga. Now what happened? Once a Doordarshan team came. The Doordarshan team came, they wanted to record Guruji's video and audio and things like that. Guruji's instructions were very, very clear. Guruji said, ਜੇ ਤਾਂ blessing ਲੈਣੀ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਸਾਜ਼ ਔਰ ਆਵਾਜ਼ ਬਾਹਰ ਛੱਡ ਕੇ ਆਓ. What was that ਸਾਜ਼ ਔਰ ਆਵਾਜ਼? ਸਾਜ਼ ਔਰ ਆਵਾਜ਼ was their camera, recording equipment and etc. So the team was permitted after leaving their cameras and things like that outside. And many times, a lot of dignitaries used to come and they had their gunmen. And their gunmen were told by, you can come inside, no problem. But you will have to keep your guns outside. Because once you are with Guru, no guns are required. And that is where he says, Puran Guru kade bhi bodyguard the gunmen nahi rakhunga, nor the gunmen were around. Because when you are with the Sadguru, you are totally protected. You don't need a gunman at that time. So those gunmen were told, we used to tell them, भैया ये बंदूक शंदूक बाहर रखनी है, अंदर आना है तो जोड़े खोलो, अंदर आओ, बैठो, लंगर छको. And one more point which is coming to my mind now at this point of time. Guruji used to say, जब मालिक ते मालिक दा ड्राइवर नाल लंगर के तां गल बन गई है. अब उसमें क्या था, एक शब्द आता है, एक दृष्टि कर संसर जाने, जोगी कहिए सोई. Number one. Number two, this is an example of Guruji trying to bring social equality among all. Many times what used to happen that the people used to try to cling together to their near and dear ones. So Guruji used to say, तब्बड़ दे नाल तो रोजे लंगर कर दियो, औरों के नाल भी लंगर करो. Now, what it implies that when four people are having langar together in one thali, what is happening? There are positive vibes and there are negative vibes. The positive vibes of some will negate the negative vibes of some. A. And secondly, that you don't have the differentiation, ये मेरा रिश्तेदार है या मेरा रिश्तेदार नहीं है. It brings cohesiveness among the Sangat. Now that's why four people used to have langar in one thali. And one of the shabad which used to go there is koi naam na jaane mera tera. Humility is the common denominator in this binary of guru-disciple relationship. The author also quotes from Gurbani on pages 235 and 236 to bring out distinctive characteristics of true Guru. What are these characteristics? Takes care of disciples, washes evil intellect of disciples, washes evil intellect of disciples, frees the disciple from attachments. Gives wealth of now. It is only lucky people who got this wealth of now. Now, I would like to talk here about Sachkhand. Why I am talking about Sachkhand is that Guruji used to, we say, conceptualize prasad, out of nowhere. And that prasad is a Sachkhand prasad. Now, what is Sachkhand? Now, here the respected Guruji's native home is Sachkhand. What is this Sachkhand and where it is? Only that person comes to know who is Guruji's grace. अतिशय कृपा जही पर हुई, ये रामायण में लिखा हुआ है. अतिशय कृपा जही पर हुई, पावंदे अहि मन सोई, संत विशुद्ध मिले प्रभुता ही, चरित राम कृपा कर जोई. And it has been said that God resides in the Sachkhand. The compassionate Lord sends his Mahapurush on a mission of mercy. And now this is important. The compassionate Lord sends his Mahapurush, Guruji, on a mission of mercy. The Mahapurush come among us and take a person on a 5-stage journey. What are these 5-stage journey? The stages are Dharam Khand, Gyan Khand, Saram Khand, Karam Khand, and ultimately it's God's own mansion, which is known as Sachkhand. And finally, here its journey's end. When he reaches here, man is liberated of suffering and becomes a part of God's empire of bliss. Guruji first removes the problems of his devotees' lives, material problems, physical problems, takes them on the path of Karma Yoga. This is the first stage of the journey, the Dharam Khanda. The devotee, made physically and mentally healthy, is able to contemplate normal and supranormal objects. He begins to realize the truth about the world and the transitoriness of his own life. At this stage, he has reached the Gyan Khanda. That is when he has realized truth about the world and the transitoriness of his own life. जो आया है उसने तो मरना ही, उसने तो जाना ही। अगर जाना ही है तो आए हैं तो कुछ अच्छा ही काम करके जाए। Ceaseless contemplation leads to the realization of God's greatness and his own state. Ceaseless contemplation leads to the realization of God's greatness and his own state. He is filled with shame as he sees his ego. He thinks he is wasting the human life that God had bestowed on him. When this urge to unite with God becomes intense, man reaches the Saram Khanda. The high point of the journey occurs when he feels God's grace, which erases all his doubts, and he enjoys bliss. This is Karam Khanda. Man is spawned with God's grace, and the doors of Sachkhand open for him. No one can undertake this journey by himself. Even one who is equal to Shiva cannot cross the ocean of life. Even one who is the repertory of wisdom, like Brahma for God self-realization, he has to go to a guru or Mahaprabhu. And the guru's glance of grace instantaneously leads him to cherished Guru. Guruji is the Mahapurush of this age, and therefore we pay obeisance to the lotus feet of. So why I mentioned this was, I am talking of Sachkhand Prasad. Its location, obviously, Sachkhand, as we have described, where it is located. Now, who can reach this abode of Mahashiv, of Nirankar? So, I would like to correlate a satsang here. You know what has happened? I used to do. Okay, I'll come to it later. At the moment, I'll confine it to Sachkhand Prasad, which Guruji used to give. And so many people would have seen that Sachkhand Prasad, which he used to give, was at times it was a laddu. And it was small, which he used to hold it like this. And when he opened his fist, it used to become big, large. And at times it was encased in mystery and things like that. This type of Sachkhand Prasad, we used to realize and give it to the blessed ones. Now, and this Prasad, even if you had a grain of it in your mouth, your whole system used to be fragrant. Now, Sachkhand is not a geographical spot, but the final state of the evolution of human consciousness. One can only experience it, but not describe it. For here, words cease to have any meaning, and no analogies can help in describing the unique. Here in the divine court, the perfect ones rejoice in his presence. It is from here that his will goes out to universe, and the liberated, grace-filled souls perform it joyously, effortlessly. The devotees becomes one with him and realize him as a unifying force working through all objects of his creation. This way he attains to the non-spatial Sachkhand and to the dweller therein, the Nirankar, who is nowhere outside his own heart. ਤਾਂ ਹੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਹੋ ਰੱਬ ਤਾਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਅੰਦਰ ਬੈਠਾ ਹੈ, ਕਿੱਥੇ ਜਾਣ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਆ, ਰੱਬ ਤਾਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਅੰਦਰ ਬੈਠਾ ਹੈ. Now, related to this Sachkhand, I would now like to tell you abode of Nirta. What has happened that I was very regular in doing Shraddha and things like that. I was sort of a Karmakandi person because that was ingrained in us right from the childhood. So we had gone to Ramgarh. In Ramgarh, he told my brother-in-law, the biggest brother-in-law, he was a very saintly person. He told, 13 साल श्राद्ध मनाई जाता है और मैंने परेशान करता हूं. This is what he told my brother-in-law. Now, my brother-in-law then told me that when you have touched a Mahapurush, so, or Mahapurush has touched you, तो आपकी 7 पुश्तें तर जाती हैं. That means they are liberated souls. So what you are doing in Shraddha, you are trying to call a soul, invite a soul, provided you are doing Shraddha properly. It's a very long process. It takes 3 hours to do a Shraddha, minimum. And you have to sit down for 3 hours in proper asana. And the rituals you perform, and if you do it properly, then that soul comes and accepts whatever you have offered. Now, if it's a liberated soul, it is in the abode of Nirankara. If it is in the abode of Nirankara, then somebody has to make an effort to bring that soul down to the earth. And that's why Guruji said, श्राद्ध मनाई जाना है, मैंने परेशान करता है. Because not that he couldn't do it. For him, it was not a problem, but he wanted to get me out of such bogus ritual. And I couldn't have understood it. If my brother-in-law would not have explained to me, told me that if you touch a Mahapurush, his feet, or he touches you, आपकी 7 पुश्तें तर जाती हैं. तर जाने का मतलब है कि they have gone to the abode of Nirankar. When they have gone to the abode of Nirankar, that means मुक्त हो गए. तो मुक्त आत्मा को नीचे लाने के लिए जो प्रयत्न गुरु को करना पड़ता था, इसलिए गुरुजी ने बोला मैंने परेशान. Now, Guru is just not a person. It's an element, a gateway through which the seekers can access universal consciousness and reach the state of enlightenment. Guru Tattva is the Guru essence of the divine principle within. The terms comes from the Sanskrit Guru means teacher, the master, and Tattva meaning principle, essence, reality of truth. The Guru can also be described as one who brings awareness. So, Guru Tattva is the essence of the bringer of awareness or happiness. Now, there is another shloka there. Agyan timram tasya gyananjam sadakya chakshur bilitam yeno tasmai shri guru. जो गुरु अज्ञान के अंधेरे से अंधे हुए मेरी आंखों को ज्ञान रूपी अंजन से खोल देते हैं, उन श्री गुरुदेव को मैं श्रद्धापूर्वक नमस्कार. my prostrations. Who by his knowledge opens the eyes of those who are rendered blind by darkness of ignorance. ये गुरु गीता में लिखा. The Guru is God himself, manifesting in a personal form to guide the aspirant. Grace of God takes form of Guru. To see the Guru is to see the God. The Guru is united with God. He inspires devotion in others. His presence purifies all. The Guru is verily a link between the individual and the immortal, because the Guru is immortal. He is a being who has raised himself from his into that, from this into that, and thus has a free and unhampered access to both realms. He stands, as it were, upon the threshold of immortality and bending down. Now, what Guru used this this Kabir ka doha often used to be played in Guru's darbar. Guru kumhar shish kumbh hai, gadi gadi kaate kaale khoot, अंदर हाथ सहार दे बाहर मारे चोट. So he raises the struggling individuals with one hand and with the other lifts them up into the emporium of everlasting joy and infinite consciousness. Mukta or a liberated sage is the real Guru or spiritual perceptor. He is Sadguru. He is identical with Brahma or the Supreme Self. He is knower of Brahma. Possession of Siddhis is not the test to declare the greatness of a sage or to prove he has attained self-realization. Sadgurus do not exhibit any miracles or siddhis. Sometimes they may exhibit them in order to convince the aspirants, which we have seen in the previous chapters. जो सत्संग हमने पढ़े हैं, so that is sometimes they may exhibit them in order to convince the aspirants of the existence of superphysical things, give them encouragement and instill faith in their hearts. A Sadguru is endowed with countless siddhis. He possesses all divine Aishwarya, all the wealth of the Lord. The Sadguru is Brahma himself. He is the ocean of bliss, knowledge of mercy. He is the captain of your soul. He is the fountain of joy. He removes all your troubles, sorrows, and obstacles. He shows you the right divine path. He tears your wheel of ignorance. He tears your wheel of ignorance. That is what Guru Tattva is. And he gives you rope of knowledge and saves you when you are drowning in this ocean of samsara. Do not consider him to be only a man. Do not consider him that he is only a man, which he always posed as our Guru. We never, many times, the way he used to conduct himself, you thought he's an ordinary person. Therefore, worship your Guru and bow to him with reverence. Guru is God. A word from him is a word from God. He need not teach anything, even his presence or company is elevating. You are in a different state of mind when you sat down in front of Guru. Your thinking changed, your perceptions changed when you came, when Guru in his fold. Now, he need not teach anything. Even his presence or company is elevating, inspiring and stirring. What used to happen when I used to go back to the house, whenever Guruji gave me permission, maybe 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the night, when I used to reach home, my family members used to say, "You are emanating Guru's fragrance." So when you are in Guru Darbar, you are bathing in that aura of Guru. And if you are a good receptor, then you could absorb that essence of that aura within you. And a proof of that, to show you that I have blessed you. Guru aura used to, his fragrance used to come from you. This is way of his telling. Even his presence or company is elevating, inspiring, and steady. The very company itself is self-illumination. Living in his company is a spiritual education. And if you read Guru Granth Sahib, you will come to know the greatness of Guru. Now, why Guru has to come in the form of a man? Because man can learn only from a man. And hence, God teaches through a human body. In your Guru, you have your human ideal of perfection. He is the pattern from which you wish to mold yourself. Your mind will readily be convinced that such a great soul is fit to be worshipped and revered. He is the gateway to the transcendental truth consciousness. It is the aspirant that has to enter through it. The Guru is a help, but the actual task of practical sadhana falls on the aspirant himself. Therefore, the need for a Guru. For a beginner in the spiritual path, a Guru is necessary. To light a candle, you need a burning candle. Even so, an illuminated soul alone can enlighten another soul. The mind will mislead you very often. The Guru will be able to remove pitfalls and obstacles and lead you along the right path. He will tell you this road leads you to moksha, this one leads you to bondage. And as author has earlier also said, he talked of Amazon forest. Therefore, the scriptures are like a forest. There are ambiguous passages. There are passages that are apparently contradictory and others that have esoteric meanings, diverse significance, and hidden explanations. There are cross references. You are in the need of a guru or a preceptor who will explain to you the right meaning, who will remove doubts and ambiguities, who will place before you the essence of the teaching. So a guru is absolutely necessary for every aspirant in the spiritual path. It is only the guru who will find out your defects. The nature of egoism is such that you will not be able to find out your own defects. This happens, always happens, because your ego is such that you cannot find your own defects. Just a man cannot see his back, so also he cannot see his own errors. How can you see your back? Even if you are standing in front of mirror, you cannot see your back. And even if you do your back, what's mirror you can see? You cannot see your back unless there is another mirror. Now, what happens that any human being needs to have guru right from the birth. The moment he is born, he needs to know. Then it is parents who are mother, which is the guru to begin with. Mother tells how the baby should take milk. Mother teaches, and what mother does, mother cleans the baby, gives it a bath, cleans its everything. It cleans his body. It changes its diaper and things like that. So what Guru does is what exactly Guru does to a human being, but he does it to your soul, to your Atma. He cleans your soul. He makes relentless efforts to clean your soul. And it is said that once Guru has accepted you. You may leave Guru, but Guru will not leave you till such time he takes you to the destination. It may be one birth, it may be two births, it may be couple of births. But Guru will take you to destination. इसीलिए शब्द आता है बाह पकड़ गुरु का दिया. और दूसरा शब्द आता है कि हे गुरु, ऐसा है कि मेरी तो पकड़ जो है वो कमजोर है, तो मैं पकड़ूंगा तो मेरा हाथ छूट सकता है, और तेरी पकड़ मजबूत है, तू अगर मेरा हाथ पकड़ ले तो फिर कैसा है, मेरी तो मुक्ति बिल्कुल निश्चित है. Therefore, all sages, saints, prophets, world teachers, incarnations, great men have had their gurus. However great they might have been, like Shvetaketu learned the nature of truth from Uddalaka, Maitreyi from Yagyavalka, Bhrigu from Varuna, Narada from Sanat Kumara, Nachiketa from Yavan, Indra from Buddha. Lord Krishna sat at the feet of his Guru Sandeepani. Lord Rama had Guru Vasishtha. Sorry. Lord Rama had Guru Vasishtha who gave him Upadesh. Even Devas had Brihaspati as their Guru. Even the greatest among the divine beings sat at the feet of Guru Dakshinamurti. If you find peace in the presence of Mahatma, that's beautiful. He who does not disturb your belief but helps you on from where you are. He is whose very presence you feel spiritually elevated. He is your Guru. Now, sincere sadhaka help comes from mysterious manner. I'll touch about it. Now, before that, I just want to give you a short example. You know what happens when there is a seed you want to plant, or even if the seed is there, if the conditions are not conducive to the germination of the seed will not make. In a barren, dry land, it will never germinate. It to germinate, you have to feed. What you have to feed? You have to feed water, moisture, temperature. The soil has to be good, and things like that. Seed of spiritualism. The seed is there inside you, but it is so embedded, it is so deeply rooted and covered with Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Ahankar. All the layers, all the muck is covered with it. So the soil has become hard. It didn't get proper conditions to germinate, and therefore that seed has not grown up. Now, this is what Guru does. He cleanses your soul. एक बार बैठे हुए थे कहीं पे गुरु जी के साथ, तो गुरु जी कहते थे तुसी डड्डू वर्गे हो, मैं तन्नू चिक्खड़ तो कट के साफ करना वा, तुसी जाके फिर चिक्खड़ दे बोले जाने. Now, this is what Guru does. He cleanses your soul, which is not an easy task, which is very, very difficult, because time and again he cleans you. He takes you out from the rut of worldly affairs and you go and cling back to it again. But once you are in fold of Guru, he ensures that you are clean, and that seed of spiritualism seed of Brahma grows inside you. Now, there are mysterious ways of help which comes from the Lord. Now, some of the examples of this are Eknath heard an Akashvani, a voice from the sky. It said, see Janardhan Pant at Devgiri. He will put you in the proper path and guide you. He acted accordingly and found his good. And similarly, Lord Krishna directed Namdev to get his higher initiation from a sannyasin at Mallikarjun. Tulsidas received instructions from an invisible being to see Hanuman. And through Hanuman to get darshan of Ram. Only few persons who are pure and embodiments of all virtuous qualities can understand realized souls. Now, let each man take the path according to his capacity, temperament, and understanding. His Sadguru will meet him along the path. Shiksha Gurus and Diksha Gurus. What are Shiksha Gurus? Shiksha Gurus are those, as we say, right from the day one. When we grow, we need various gurus for our educational gurus, technical gurus, professional gurus, and likewise. Those are all Shiksha Gurus. And Diksha Guru, there is only one. There may be a couple of Shiksha Gurus, but Diksha Guru is only one. And it's only a realized soul we can become your Diksha. And it is said that stick to one Guru. From one doctor, you get a prescription. From two doctors, you can't go from door to door. From two doctors, you get consultation. From three doctors, you get your own cremation. Even so, if you have many gurus, you will be bewildered. You will be at a loss to know what to say. Do Soham Japa. Another will say, do Japa of Shri Ram. Third will say, hear Anahat Sam. You will be puzzled. Stick to one guru and follow his instructions. Listen to all, but follow one. And the guru will find out by close study of aspirant, his taste, temperaments, and capacity, and decide for him the most suitable path. If his heart is impure, the teacher will prescribe selfless service for a number of years. Now, another aspect I want to touch upon is called thing called Shakti Sanchar. Now, this also comes from a guru. The Shakti Sanchar comes from a guru. Now, what happens that the spiritual part is transmitted by the guru to the proper disciple whom he considers fit for Shakti Sanchar. It's only whom he thinks fit. The guru can transform the disciple by a look, a touch, or a thought of, or a word or will. It is hidden mystic science. Lord Krishna touched the blind eyes of Surdas. The inner eye of Surdas was opened. He had Bhav Samadhi. Now, once a Shakti Sanchar has been done, the disciple should not rest satisfied with the transmission of power from the Guru. This happens more often than not. He will have to struggle hard in sadhana for further perfection and attainment. Subsequently, the author touches on the chapter Sadhak, Sadhana, and Enlightenment. So, enlightenment will only come when the disciple does not satisfied with the transmission of power from the Guru. He will have to struggle hard in sadhana for further perfection and attainment. So you will have to abandon the wrong notion that your Guru will give you samadhi or mukti. Try, purify, meditate, and realize. Or grace of Guru is very necessary. That does not mean that the disciple should sit idle. Disciple will have to do his job. Today, what is happening? That we want samadhi immediately. We are not prepared to undergo any sadhana for purification and self-realization. We want a magic pill to push us into samadhi. So if there is such a division, it's better to give up immediately. So magic pill to push them into samadhi is required. And it is only he who has a severe itching will have to scratch for himself. No doubt, Guru's blessings can do everything. How can one have his blessing? By pleasing the Guru. The Guru can be pleased with his disciple. Only if the latter carries out his spiritual instructions implicitly. Now, I want to give you a small example at the end. Now, what has happened that a cub had been separated from his tribe of lions. He began to live with the sheep. In time, his behavior became exactly like theirs. इसे कहते हैं संगत संगत का असर हो गया. He also started behaving like a sheep. He no longer roared, he bleated. A tiger saw him one day and was overcome by surprise. He caught hold of the still young cub and gave him a hard shake. What is this to you? Why do you behave like this? Why do you behave like a sheep? The terrified cub insisted that the tiger was mistaken. He was just sheep. The tiger took the cub to a lake. It was a still lake, absolutely calm and quiet. The clear water reflected the cub's face. Immediately he realized his true nature. Guru's none too easy task is somewhat similar. He demolishes the apparatus on which our mistaken identity rests. We are his children, not creatures of mortal flesh and feverish blood. We are divine personages, clothed in hide, not desire-led animals. We are souls encased in bodies, not bodies with souls. With this, I come to the end, and I thank the multilingual global Sevada team, Sri Suresh Vasanji, Mr. Roul, whose book is of immense value to the readers who are venturing into spiritualism under Guruji Sharan. From the book Guruji's Life and Spiritualism, and for giving me this opportunity to speak on the chapter of Guru Tattva. I also express my gratitude to Shri Bhavesh Mani for assisting me in streamlining my thoughts. Now I hand you over to Kamini Tandonji. Jai.
नमस्ते गुरुजी. शुक्राना टू गुरुजी महाराज, उन्होंने मुझे ये अपॉर्चुनिटी दी आज इस प्लेटफॉर्म पे इस डिवाइन बुक पर रीडिंग में पार्टिसिपेट करने के लिए. जोशी अंकल, थैंक यू सो मच. यू मेड माय टास्क वेरी वेरी इजी. आपने इतनी सुंदर रूप से और इतने सरल तरीके से इतने गहन टॉपिक को हम सबके आगे आज प्रेजेंट किया है. हैविंग सेड दैट, जो मुझे आज टास्क असाइन किया गया है, आई विल टेक इट फॉरवर्ड. संगत जी, ये चैप्टर बहुत ही गहन है. It carries a lot of meaning and significance for the spiritual seeker who is on this path of spiritual upliftment. And इस चैप्टर में, जैसे अभी जोशी अंकल ने बताया, कि 4 important aspects को कवर किया गया है. Why do we need a guru? सदगुरु और पूर्ण गुरु, and characteristics of a disciple, and lastly गुरु शिष्य relationship. जैसे कि मैंने कहा कि जोशी अंकल ने बहुत ही एलैबोरेट तरीके से और बहुत ही क्लियर मैनर में इस पूरे चैप्टर के कंटेंट्स हमारे साथ शेयर करनी है। सो फॉर द सेक ऑफ ब्रेविटी आई विल कीप इट कंसाइज एंड क्विकली मैं अपने इस पे जो मेरे भाव है मैं आप सबके साथ शेयर करूंगी। संगत जी, हमें गुरु की आवश्यकता क्यों है? वाई डू वी नीड अ गुरु? गुरबानी की पंक्तियां जो अभी कुछ देर पहले जोशी अंकल ने बोली, गुरु बिन घोर अंधार, गुरु बिन समझ ना आवे। सो ये लाइंस अपने आप में गुरबानी की इस प्रसंग को, वाई डू वी नीड अ गुरु को पूरे अच्छे तरीके से हमें समझा देती है। गुरु वो प्रकाश है संगत जी, जो हमारे जीवन में जब आता है, हमारी आत्मा में प्रवेश करता है, तो जो हमारे अंदर जन्मों जन्मों की माया की परतें जमी हुई हैं उसे साफ कर देता है और फिर हमारे जीवन के मायने ही बदल जाते हैं। हमारे जीवन को एक नया अर्थ, एक नई दिशा मिल जाती है, जो अंत में हमें ईश्वर की ज्योति से मिला देती है। पर क्या हम गुरु खुद ढूंढते हैं? क्या हम इतने सक्षम हैं कि हम एक पूर्ण गुरु की तलाश कर सकें? स्वाभाविक रूप से उत्तर होगा नहीं संगत जी। हम में से बहुतों को तो यही नहीं पता कि हमें अपने जीवन का क्या करना है, हमारे जीवन का उद्देश्य क्या है। तो फिर ये कहना कि हम एक पूर्ण गुरु को ढूंढ सकते हैं, ये कहना ठीक नहीं होगा। आई थिंक बहुत ही अल्प संख्या में बहुत ही थोड़े ऐसे लोग होंगे जिन्हें एक सच्चे गुरु की तलाश होगी और वो गुरु महाराज के दरबार तक पहुंच जाते हैं। हम में से काफी तो ऐसे ही होते हैं कि वी आर स्ट्रगलिंग अंडर द बर्डन ऑफ आवर ओन वर्ल्डली ट्रबल्स एंड परेशानियां, जिससे कि हम गुरु महाराज के पास पहुंचते हैं। पर इससे खैर गुरु महाराज को फर्क नहीं पड़ता कि व्हाट इज द रीजन। ये तो उन्हीं की रचना होती है जिसके उस पे हम पहुंचते हैं गुरु महाराज के दर पर। जब हम गुरु जी के पास पहुंच जाते हैं तो गुरु जी हमें जज नहीं करते संगत जी, हमारी क्वालिटीज पे या हमारी सिचुएशंस पे। गुरु जी तो वो साधु हो या चोर हो, उनको बराबर ही ब्लेस करते हैं, क्योंकि गुरु का स्वभाव है, उनके स्वभाव में ही दया, कृपा और क्षमा है। एंड वो हमारी परिस्थिति के ऊपर हमें जज नहीं करते हैं, वो हमारे हृदय की तरलता को देखकर हमें ब्लेस करते हैं, हमें तराशते हैं। और एक बार जब हम गुरु के दर पे आ जाते हैं और जैसे ही धीरे धीरे हमारे काम बनने शुरू होते हैं संगत जी, वैसे ही हमारा मन भी पिघलने लगता है, हमारा मन शीतल हो जाता है और उसमें गुरु का प्रकाश, गुरु का प्रेम और उभर के निखर के आता है। सो गुरु जी क्या करते हैं यहाँ पर संगत जी? गुरु जी हमारी पेन, हमारी सफरिंग को फेथ में ट्रांसफॉर्म कर देते हैं। अगर हम इस बात को थोड़ी गंभीरता से सोचें तो ये कौन कर सकता है? ये स्वयं ईश्वर ही कर सकते हैं। और हमारे गुरु महाराज तो स्वयं महादेव हैं, महाशिव हैं, इस सृष्टि के रचयिता हैं। उनसे ऊपर ना कभी कोई था, ना कोई शक्ति थी, ना है और ना कभी होगी। सो इसी भाव पे, इसी को आगे बढ़ाते हुए मैं एक और कुछ ऐड जो इसमें करना चाहूंगी कि आखिर परमात्मा को ऐसी क्या सूझी कि उन्हें धरती पे आना पड़ा हमारे दुखों कष्टों को अपने ऊपर लेने के लिए। संगत जी, ये उनका सिर्फ हमारे लिए असीम प्यार है, प्योर एंड अनकंडीशनल लव, जो हमें बार बार वो याद दिलाते हैं कि हम उन्हीं की रचना है, हम उन्हीं का पार्ट हैं और हमें अंत में जाकर उन्हीं में विलीन होना है। तो गुरु महाराज जी का, जैसे पूर्ण गुरु का हमारे जीवन में आना, ये हमारा सबसे बड़ा सौभाग्य है। और इस सौभाग्य की हम जितनी सराहना करें, हर पल उनका शुक्राना करें, उतना कम होगा। और बदले में हम गुरु जी को क्या दे सकते हैं? कुछ भी नहीं। अगेन, प्योर एंड अनकंडीशनल लव के अलावा ना हम उन्हें कुछ दे सकते हैं, ना उन्हें हमसे और कुछ चाहिए। यहाँ पर मैं कुछ पंक्तियां हैं, बहुत ही प्यारी पंक्तियां हैं गुरु भगत रविदास जी की, वो आपके साथ शेयर करूंगी। जो हम बांधे मोह फास, हम प्रेम बंधन तुम बांधे, अपने छूटन का जतन करो, हम छूटे तुम आराधे। रविदास जी कहते हैं, हे प्रभु, अगर तूने मुझे मोह माया के बंधन में फांस के यहाँ भेज दिया है, तो मैं भी तुझे अपने प्रेम के बंधन में बांध लेता हूँ। मैं तो तेरी भक्ति करके, तेरा नाम जप के इस बंधन से मुक्त हो जाऊंगा। पर तू कैसे अपने इस भक्त के प्रेम से छूटेगा, उस पे तुम विचार करो और सोचो. सो दिस इज अ वेरी, I think the important essence of a guru-disciple relationship कि it is tied by the knot of pure love. तो हमें इसको प्यार से ही सींचना है और प्यार से इस रिलेशनशिप को नर्चर करना है और ग्रो करना है. संगत जी, आगे संगत जी रॉल अंकल ने एक बहुत ही इम्पोर्टेंट पहलू को दर्शाया है और वो है इम्पोर्टेंस ऑफ गुरुज ग्रेस. I will like to repeat a few lines here which have already been shared by Joshi uncle with us, but they are very, very important lines. So there's only, I will like to re-emphasize on them. Page 224, second para, second line says, "It is the Guru who makes the spiritual practice effective." Page 227, last para says, "Spiritual knowledge, unlike material knowledge, can neither be purchased nor sold. It is offered through grace and received through faith and humbleness. This is the essence of Guru Tattva." Page 227, second last para says, Arjun, after being completely transformed, addresses Lord Krishna and says, "It was not your lecture, but your grace that dispelled my ignorance." संगत जी, ग्रेस पे इतना इम्पोर्टेंस क्यों? ग्रेस पे इसलिए हमें इस चीज को समझना पड़ेगा कि जब हम गुरु की चरण शरण में आ जाते हैं, then we have to do away with the doership. We are not the doer. उसके बाद जो भी हमारी लाइफ में घटता है, अच्छा या बुरा, वो सब गुरुजी की ग्रेस से होता है, उनकी ब्लेसिंग से होता है, उनकी मंजूरी और उनकी हाजिरी में होता है. जब परिस्थितियां अनुकूल हैं, सब कुछ बहुत ही अच्छे से चल रहा है, उसको गुरु की ग्रेस मानना बहुत आसान है, बहुत इजी है. और जब परिस्थितियां विपरीत हैं, हमारे मन की नहीं हो रही है, हमें जो चाहिए वो नहीं मिल रहा है, तब उस समय उन परिस्थितियों को गुरु का प्रसाद समझ के एक्सेप्ट करना और गुरु महाराज का शुक्राना करना और उनको उसमें उसमें उनकी उत्तम कृपा ढूंढना. आई थिंक दिस इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. जिसने ये निभा लिया, आई थिंक वो गुरु तत्व को समझ गया, वो गुरु ग्रेस को समझ गया, एंड फिर गुरु जी की कृपा उस पर निरंतर बनी रहेगी. तो कर्ता भाव से जब हम मुक्त हो जाते हैं, तो गुरु जी की कृपा भी हम पर निरंतर बनी रहती है. आगे संगत जी, जब बात हो रही है कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स ऑफ अ डिसाइपल की, यहाँ पर मैं कुछ ज्यादा ना कहते हुए बस इतना ही कहना चाहूंगी कि स्पिरिचुअल जर्नी में, आध्यात्मिक पर भक्त की जो मंशा है, डेवोटी का जो इंटेंट है, वो बहुत मायने रखता है. इट्स वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. इंटेंट इसलिए जरूरी है कि बिना इंटेंट के आप गुरु की ग्रेस को एब्जॉर्ब ही नहीं कर सकते. And this intent should be all about internal cleansing directed towards your spiritual upliftment. इस intent को precede करती है, I will summarize this. जब हम अवेयर हैं कि हमारे अंदर क्या बुराइयां हैं, क्या कमियां हैं, तभी हम प्रयास करेंगे कि हम उनको ओवरकम कर सकें. और उस प्रयास में हम अपने आप को गुरुजी के आगे सरेंडर कर देंगे. गुरुजी, मेरे में ये प्रॉब्लम्स हैं, ये नेगेटिव मेरे ट्रेट्स हैं, मेरे बस की नहीं है, जितना मेरे में एफर्ट है मैं कोशिश करूंगी टू ओवरकम देम, बट आगे डोर आप संभालिए. आई थिंक दिस इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. जो हमारी सच्ची सुच्ची नीयत होती है ना गुरुजी, संगत जी, ये एक ब्रिज का काम करती है जो हमारे स्पिरिचुअल जर्नी को स्मूथ और प्रोग्रेसिव बना देती है. लास्टली जब हम आते हैं संगत जी गुरु शिष्य रिलेशनशिप पे, हम सब जानते हैं कि गुरु जी के दरबार में कभी कोई प्रवचन नहीं दिए जाते थे. गुरु जी किसी संगत को किसी फॉर्मल तरीके से इनिशिएट नहीं करते थे या पर्सनलाइज कोई मंत्र दीक्षा नहीं देते थे. फिर भी उनकी प्रेजेंस, आई विल रीआइटरेट, गुरु जी की प्रेजेंस ही अपने आप में वाज द हाईएस्ट फॉर्म ऑफ इंस्ट्रक्शन. यही एक सच्चे गुरु की पहचान है. यहाँ पर भी जोशी अंकल ने जो बात बोली, गुरु जी की मौजूदगी, गुरुजी की मौजूदगी में मौजूद रहना इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू रिसीव हिज ग्रेस। संगत जी, गुरुजी के मौन में ही, उनके साइलेंस में ही उनकी कृपा है, ज्ञान है और आत्मिक आनंद का प्रकाश। आज भी जब हम बड़े मंदिर जाते हैं, गुरु महाराज की गद्दी के दर्शन करते हैं, तो उनकी अदृश्य कृपा गहन रूप से अपना कार्य करती है। ये कृपा इतनी सूक्ष्म और सहज होती है कि कई बार हमें इसका आभास भी नहीं होता है और हम अपने अंदर इस होते हुए सहज परिवर्तन को स्पष्ट रूप से समझ भी नहीं पाते हैं। तो इस सेंस में कह सकते हैं कि ये पूरी की पूरी प्रक्रिया, ये पूरा का पूरा प्रोसेस इनवॉलंटरी है। लेकिन क्या हमारी श्रद्धा, समर्पण और इच्छा का कोई रोल नहीं है? संगत जी, जब तक हम रिसेप्टिव नहीं हैं, तब तक परिवर्तन भी पॉसिबल नहीं है। गुरु शिष्य का रिश्ता इज मोर लाइक अ डिवाइन पार्टनरशिप। इट्स लाइक अ दिव्य साझेदारी, जिसमें गुरुजी हमें तराशते हैं और हम उसको स्वीकारते हैं। तो मेरी तरफ से जो मुझे थोड़ी बहुत अपनी छोटी समझ से मैं कुछ कंट्रीब्यूट कर सकी, आज के लिए इतना है। ओवर टू यू आसन अंकल। शुक्राना।
Jai Guruji. Thanks a lot. I'll request Raul uncle to please initiate. Thank you.
जय गुरु जी। गुरु जी को कोटि कोटि प्रणाम। जुड़े हुए सारे संगत को तहे दिल से नमस्कार। आज ये जो चैप्टर बारे डिस्कशन हो रहा था, इट वाज वेरी वेरी इल्यूमिनेटिंग। मैं तहे दिल से जोशी अंकल और कामिनी टंडन दोनों को धन्यवाद करता हूँ, तो उनका आभार भी हूँ, क्योंकि वो अपने बड़े अच्छे ढंग से, क्योंकि ये टॉपिक जो है बड़ा गुड या डीप है, इसको जोशी अंकल ने अपने जो स्क्रिप्चर के ज्ञान, गुरु जी के साथ एसोसिएशन होने के बाद जो प्रैक्टिकल नॉलेज, उसको एक थी जोड़ के बड़े अच्छे ढंग से इसको समझाए। कामिनी भी अपने तरह से जो एडिशन किए हैं वो भी काफ़ी महत्वपूर्ण है। पर्टिकुलरली जब जोशी अंकल ने बताया कि हम पहले चैप्टर सारे स्पेसिफिक्स डिस्कशन कर रहे थे, और इस चैप्टर और ये जो पार्ट 4 है, द ग्रेट इंडियन स्पिरिचुअल ट्रेडिशन, हम स्पेसिफिक से जनरल में पहुंचे, वो काफ़ी अहम है। हम फर्स्ट चैप्टर में गुरुजी के लाइफ के बारे में डिस्कशन किए, सब्सिक्वेंट चैप्टर में स्पेसिफिक एग्जाम्पल्स अबाउट हिज एक्सप्रेशन ऑफ डिविनिटी बारे डिस्कशन किए। फिर उनका आज ए सुपर ह्यूमन बीइंग, अपार्ट फ्रॉम हिज गॉडली और यू कैन से द गॉड इनकारनेट कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स, उसको छोड़ के जो ह्यूमन कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स में बात किए, ये सारे था उनकी स्पेसिफिक्स। वो चैप्टर 4 में हम पहुंचे कि फ्रॉम स्पेसिफिक्स वी आर गोइंग टू जनरलाइजेशन, फ्रॉम practical examples we are going to the depth of spiritualism, and in this journey today we are discussing about Guru Tattva. इस बारे में मैं कुछ ज़्यादा टाइम समय ना लेके कुछ और करूँगा। हम सारे जानते हैं कि स्पिरिचुअल गुरु dispels ignorance towards the truth and spiritual awakening. ये जो अंधकार है कि ये स्पिरिचुअल अवेकनिंग क्या है, व्हाट इज द अल्टीमेट ट्रूथ, उसके बारे हमें वो गाइड करते हैं। कैसे गाइड करते हैं? थ्रू देयर पर्सनल विजडम एंड गॉड रियलाइज्ड स्टेट। दो चीज को मार्क करिए, पर्सनल विजडम एंड गॉड रियलाइज्ड स्टेट। तो इसका मतलब है कि many people, they may claim that they are gurus, even they can claim they are spiritual gurus. They may try to give a super spiritual knowledge from the text, from the scriptures. But when such kind of knowledge or wisdom is not from their own personal experience and not from the God realized state, that becomes that they are like philosophers. Anybody can write a book on philosophy, but he cannot become a guru. This is the distinction I want to make, a real guru and a philosopher. I'll give a small example. When I was writing this book, I interacted with हमारे जो फोटोग्राफर है राय अंकल, जो गुरुजी उनको बोलते थे, वो ऑफिशियल फोटोग्राफर है, रघुराय जी। देन एक के चैप्टर का नॉमेनक्लेचर था फिलोसॉफी ऑफ गुरुजी। सो ही टोल्ड व्हाई गुरुजी इज नॉट ए फिलोसोफर, he is spiritually elevated, as good as we take as God incarnate. So don't mention philosophy. I realized my mistake and I corrected the same. कहने का मतलब है, a philosopher can write about the scriptures, can interpret the scriptures, but when he does not have the practical wisdom to guide people from in their day-to-day life, and this wisdom comes from their God realized state. They are in the state of a nirbhakal samadhi. They are at the stage when there is no distinction between the guru and the God. So from that state, they guide you, they give you the wisdom, and that's how we lead we trade a better spiritual journey. कैबिनेट टंडन अपने वक्तव्य में बताया कि गुरु शिष्य रिलेशनशिप में कि इंटेंट ऑफ स्पिरिचुअल जर्नी इज आल्सो इम्पोर्टेंट। एंड जोशी अंकल बताए कि गुरु जी के मौजूद में खुद मौजूद रहना जरूरी है। दैट मीन्स you should be present in Guruji's presence. These are not physical presence. Even Guruji is not there. If you are going to a satsang, the idea or the symbolism of Guruji, you don't internalize. You go for a socialization, you go and talk with people there, you look into your mobile or anything, then you are not present. You are not present with Guruji. So that is quite important. So there are three conditions which needs to be satisfied that a person can be called a real guru or Sadguru or Purman Guru. Number one, he dispels ignorance regarding the ultimate truth. That one truth, which you can say different Pandits say differently, but there is one truth. He does it. He dispels the ignorance from his personal wisdom. That is the second condition. And that the third one is that he does in the God realized state. He is not in an ordinary human form. He does in a God realized state. If these three conditions are satisfied, then you can call him a real guru, or true guru, or Puran guru, or Sadguru. As we have gone through the specifics in different chapters, it is our Reverend Guruji who qualifies all the three conditions. That's we are blessed that by grace of Guruji, we could come across such a Puran Guru or Satguru. So in this world, when you are coming across various spiritual leaders, how do you recognize a real guru from another guru who is not necessarily a Puran guru or real guru? This is what these three conditions I spoke about. You try to analyze, and then only people can find a true guru. And that is where also comes the guru-shishya relationship. In Swami Yoganand, he talks about how a disciple need to approach a guru. He says, it is extremely necessary to remember that in the beginning, it is wise to compare many spiritual paths and preceptors, that means gurus. But when the real guru and the real teaching is found, then the restless searching must cease. The thirsty one should not keep seeking wells, but should go to the best well and daily drink its nectar. That is what we should realize, that we have found the real guru, and we should not steer here and there, go here and there in search of a spiritual guru or a spiritual path. Now, Joshi uncle has also, from his own experience, talked about the characteristics of a true guru. I again speak about Shloka 1.2.12 of Mandukya Upanishad, which says, Tat abhigyanartham sadgurum evavi gachate samit pani shrutiyam brahmanishtam. This is what translated in English. To realize the absolute truth, approach with faith a guru who is both Shrutiya and Brahmanishtam. Shrutiya means knower of spiritual knowledge, and who can erudite such knowledge and wisdom because he is Brahmanistha. That means he is situated in God realization. Only he who has realized the truth or attained the truth can help us to do the same. That is what is a characteristic of a true guru. If a person has not realized God, realized he is not situated in God realization, he cannot lead you to God. So, another quotation from the book from 227, both Kamini as well as Joshi uncle quoted, spiritual knowledge, unlike material knowledge, can neither be purchased nor sold. It is offered through the grace and received through faith and humbleness. This is the essence of a Guru Tattva. If somebody is trying to impart spiritual knowledge with a motive, then he is not a true guru. Motive may be of anything, maybe publicity, maybe a large number of followers, that he is a leader, spiritual leader. He wants to follow, that so many people should follow him. That is also a motive. Or some people, in exchange of some material gain also, they peddle spiritual knowledge. You have many spiritual schools. They charge money to enter into their schools. They charge money to go through the austerities and the discipline like yoga and other aspects. They are not real spiritual gurus. So such real gurus are rare, and we are fortunate enough that we have come up across such a guru in our life. Why such gurus are rare? Because we have said they should have realized God. They should be in a state of nirvikalp samadhi. It is not possible for each and everybody to attain that kind of state. It is only the real true gurus through their by grace of a God, or through their own sadhana, they have attained that state which is called nirvikalp samadhi. So if we are lucky and by grace of God or Guruji that we came across our revered Guruji. The other way around, even there is one, it's not that each and every disciple can recognize a true guru, because again it requires from the disciple love, devotion, meditation, and service. You need to be a true disciple to find a true guru. If you don't have like Kamini told about that, your intent in the spiritual path is more important. In addition to intent, your practice, your thinking, what you are doing for that spiritual awakening, will say, or it can be termed as your true disciple. If there are not true disciples, they will not find a true guru, even he is present there. And other times, the guru himself keeps a veil from the ordinary. Only the true disciples who can penetrate the veil and find a true guru or recognize a true guru. So it is a two-way transaction or understanding. It is the guru who is a true guru, and also the disciple should be a true disciple to recognize a true guru. Our spiritual tradition has given examples of many true gurus, Puran gurus. They have come from time to time. The Upanishads that talk about Rishi Udalak, who is the guru, and Swetaketu. Swetaketu is his son. The very interesting kind of conversation has been depicted in this Upanishad. That is where Rishi Udalak says, Tat tum asi, you are that. That means you are the representative of God. God resides in you. Subsequently, in Chandogya Upanishad, Guru Gautama and Satyakam Javala, they are also entered into similar kind of discourse, and they are examples of a true guru and true disciple. The third example is Guru Yajnavalkya and his students. The students, they are like King Janaka and Maitreyi, the person Gargi and Maitreyi, who are also the sages who have written parts of the Rig Veda. The best example is Lord Krishna and Arjuna from Bhagavad Gita. Lord Krishna is the ultimate guru and Arjuna is the ultimate disciple. But very interestingly, if you read through the life history of Lord Krishna, after he killed his maternal uncle, who is a demon, Kans in Mathura, thereafter he went to establish a kingdom, but he established an army, but he left that at the age of 16 or 14, I don't recollect the exact age. He went to Guru Sandipani to learn under his feet. Even the Lord himself have to go to a guru to get the practical knowledge. Again, the Puranic literature talks about the story of Lord Yama and the disciple Nachiketa. Nachiketa has all the inquisitive mind and devotion and service to Lord Yama, who teaches him the deeper meaning of spiritualism. In the historical example, these are our Puranic texts and Veda Upanishads, but it comes Lord Buddha and his 10 disciples who are the true disciples of Lord Buddha. Similarly, Lord Mahavir in the Jainism and his main disciple is the Gandhar Gautama. Then comes the life story of Adi Shankara. Adi Shankara was the guru and Totakacharya was his disciple. It gives the true guru, true disciple relationship between the two. And in the recent times, not too recent, but still in historically it is recent, Guru Nanak, Devji and Bhai Mardana. You all know the stories, who is Bhai Mardana and how the Guru-Shishya relationship developed between them. Then in modern times, Ramakrishna Paramhans and Vivekananda. And the next session, I will depict a story about, I will describe a story between Ramakrishna Paramhans and Vivekananda, how the true seeker, that is Vivekananda, found the true guru, that is Ramakrishna Paramhans. So, the last example about modern times, yeah, that is the Guru Ramakrishna and Vivekananda. So, giving these examples, I try to establish that the Guru-Shishya relationship, is quite intense also. And it is a two-way transaction or two-way process, not transaction, it's a two-way process. If you are true disciple, you will recognize a true guru. And true gurus or real gurus are very difficult to find in the real world. So this is what I wanted to say. So at the end, I thank all of you, Joshi uncle, Kamini Tandon, Vasan uncle, and all the Sangat, the multilingual satsang team, for giving me the opportunity to share my views about Guruji and Guru Tattva. Jai Guruji.
जय गुरु जी महाराज। बहुत ही ब्लेस्ड दिन है आज। गुरु तत्व विषय पे थोड़ा सा हम लोगों ने जाना। ये इतना गहन विषय है, हम चर्चा कर ही नहीं सकते, हम डिस्कस कर ही नहीं सकते। मल्टीलिंगुअल ग्लोबल सेवादार टीम की तरफ से कन्या जोशी अंकल, बहुत बहुत आपका धन्यवाद आपका समय निकालने के लिए। डॉक्टर कामिनी टंडन जी, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। डॉक्टर छबिलेंद्र राव जी, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। मैं जोशी अंकल जी से रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा, आप प्लीज अपने आप को अनम्यूट करें।
हाँ जी,
जय गुरु जी अंकल। अंकल, हम सबका
जय गुरु जी।
बहुत सौभाग्य है कि हम सब ने गुरु संगत ने आपके भाव जाने। बहुत गहन बातें हैं जो कि हम सबको समझने में बहुत अरसा लगेगा। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आप सबका। गुरु महाराज की तरफ से आप सबको, गुरु संगत को बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। हम सब स्वस्थ रहें, गुरु महाराज की कृपा हम सब बनी रहे। अगला सेशन 22 नवंबर को होगा। ये 23वां सेशन होगा, गुरु तत्व जो अध्याय है, चैप्टर, उसका रिमेनिंग पार्ट। और गुरु जी महाराज की कृपा से MP सिंह अंकल जी और अनिल सेठ अंकल जी और संगत, उनके आने की संभावना है। महाराज की कृपा हम सब पे बनी रहे। इसी के साथ ही हम सब गुरु महाराज जी से आज्ञा लेंगे। जय गुरु जी, शुक्राना गुरु जी।